So one quick thing before I get into my remarks, sequester. All right, sequester's coming. Exactly right. And I believe that's exactly what needs to happen. This was the backstop that our president came up with. You wouldn't guess that by his comments as blame. He's trying to blame everybody else other than himself and Jack Lew, who were the guys that came up with it. John Boehner's solution was, if we don't let this, if the super committee doesn't come up with the cuts to offset this, guess what? No increase to the debt ceiling. That was something that we wanted to see. The president obviously didn't want to live with that, so came up with the sequester cut. I looked at that and said, okay, at least we're going to have some across-the-board cuts that are going to be happening. And just put it in perspective, we're talking $85 billion on a plus, $1 trillion plus deficit. I was a social science major, not a hard science major, but even I know that's not even 8% of our overspending, not of our budget, of our overspending. So when we're talking about the catastrophic first responders that they're trotting out, and that planes aren't going to fly and all this other stuff, I just don't believe it. I don't buy it, and it's scare tactics. So I see it coming. I see it coming. It needs to happen, and we need to start doing this. However, that $1 trillion is discretionary spending. There's still another $2.7, $2.8 trillion that this doesn't even touch. And we've got this White House sticking its collective head in the sand, put it there, collective head in the sand, denying that we need to talk about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Those are the things long term that are going to be driving this country right over the cliff. The other one is going to be what?
Obamacare.
Debt. Thank you. Interest on the debt. Interest on the debt. Now, all we need to do is start matching France or Germany, two very stable countries, bonds. Those bond rates, we're at 1.8% on a 10-year bond. They're at about 4%. You know what that, a little over 4%, you know what that 3% brings us? $390 billion a year in additional interest payments. It will soon become bigger than our Defense Department expenditures. It will swamp our health care, everything other than Social Security and Medicare. That is completely unacceptable for our kids and our grandkids, and this mountain of debt has to be dealt with. So I'll touch on that real shortly, briefly, but I'm gonna be real brief here. Let's just be honest. There's been a lot of palace intrigue going on, right? Right. A lot of innuendo, a lot of rumors, a lot of other stuff. Frankly, personally, I wish that energy would go into beating Democrats rather than beating up each other and ourselves. Ultimately, that's not productive, because we do have an opportunity here. Because frankly, I'm excited. I'm excited with newer people who are starting to get more engaged. We need that. We absolutely need that. We need to make sure that 2014 is our goal. That has to be on our radar screen. And if it's not, I can tell you, I have no interest in serving in the minority. All right? I saw what happens. We saw what happens. It's called Obamacare and it's called Dodd-Frank. Those are two flagships that were passed with this. Now, I know Barb Vanderveen very well. Barb and I served in the House legislature. We've been friends for a long time in the county. I think Barb would make a great chair. I have not had a chance to chat until I accidentally went to the first floor instead of the second floor to come over here. I didn't believe God has ways of, he's got a sense of humor. He has ways of bringing things together, right? And as I stepped off and realized I was on the first floor, not the second floor, Yvonne came onto the elevator. Well, after we kept hitting the door, keeping it open, we finally figured out we needed to get off the elevator and have a conversation. I was frankly encouraged by the conversation. I was disappointed, and I told her, I think he's here, right? That this was the first time that we've had that kind of conversation, something that should have happened a couple of months ago, frankly. But I know at least that Yvonne's got a place in his heart for doing what we just described. I think we need to make sure that no matter who emerges tonight as our chair, that we get united around each other to make sure that we don't take our eye off the prize. This is about advancing an agenda. This is about advancing a philosophy that unites us. And this is about, frankly, beating those people and I don't mean to put it in terms of war, but I'm telling you, there are people out there who do not think even remotely close to us. I just cite Nancy Pelosi and any word that comes out of her mouth, all right? Including the fact that we don't have a deficit and spending problem, right? I mean, how out of touch with reality could she possibly be? So here's what I want to do. I want to return the U.S. House of Representatives to the majority. Can we do that? I want to beat Carl 11 and get a Republican. Amanda Price and Robert Hewlin and Senator Meekoff and all these other guys back to the House and the Senate, because guess what? They were actually productive. They balanced the budget. They didn't go right to work. Now, one of the things that Yvonne had said to me, he said, you know, there's a lot of people who are not sure who you are. They don't feel like they know you. You know, there's new sections of the district. I get that. I understand. About 175,000 new people in Kent County who have become part of the second district. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. Bill Huizenga, standing up here, right here in front of you, is a flat tax, Laffer curve, supply side, social fiscal conservative. That's who I am. Pro-NRA, 10th Amendment, states' rights advocate, not passive about this. I'm an advocate for those things. And I know that we are burying our kids and our grandkids in a mountain of debt, and we need to do something about it. Now, I've got a unique opportunity. I just have been named vice chairman of the, Domestic and International Monetary Supply Committees. I joined that. So I am the vice chairman of the Monetary Supply Committee and Trade Committee. Guess what? I get to grill Ben Bernanke on a regular basis. Go to my website, my official website, huizenga.house.gov. You'll see me questioning Ben Bernanke in committee on that. I've had a chance to have breakfast with him on a personal level. It's very interesting. He didn't particularly appreciate my characterization of him artificially lowering interest rates, but just talk to an economist. He's one. I don't quite know why he doesn't get it, and I don't quite get why this administration doesn't understand that. But that's what we have an opportunity to do in that Financial Services Committee that I serve on. You're looking at a guy who's got an 89% heritage action rating. I've got 100% with Americans for Prosperity. I'm a Republican Study Committee member. I'm a founding member of the Conservative PAC. In the last cycle, I raised about $1.5 million between myself and the state party for the national party, and I didn't take a dime. Not a dime came into any of my campaign from all that money that I paid for. You know, I actually did this job. I did the job as the second district chairman for a period, 2006 to 2008. And then when Mr. Hoekstra made his announcement right at the end of 2008, that was when we had our rather exciting primary. You all will remember that, right? We're still all recovering from that. You know what I did as second district chairman? I raised money. I went out and I bought radio ads. I put mailings out. We did a program, it's called Boots on the Ground, where we went out and we hired college kids to go spend days knocking door to door in Mason County, Huizenga County, some of our weaker areas that we had had some trouble trying to get that in. And we've got, one of the things that I learned though in this whole thing, in my years of doing this, I went to my first state convention when I was 18. All right, I was one of those young people that said, you know what, I got to get involved. I got to do this. And I saw it firsthand in 1988 when we were divided. I saw it firsthand in 1992 when we were divided, when Ross Perot was a part of that. And frankly, let's just be honest with ourselves. We're seeing it now, not just in the second district, but around. And we have got to come together. We have got to unite. So who am I? Who am I? Yeah. You get what you see. That's who I am. You know, I'm a man who's seeking God, quite honestly. I'm a man with a family, a beautiful wife. Many of you met Natalie. And amazing kids. I've got 5 young kids. My oldest is a freshman in high school all the way down to first grade. It's a secret, 6 and a half years. But we do. I love you all. I love them a whole heck of a lot more. All right? That's why I'm doing this. That's why I load myself on an airplane, and I miss my son's last swim meet tonight for this, while I'm doing all these other things. I don't want any tears, I don't want any sympathy. This is a choice we have made as a family. Because my wife understands it, my kids understand it. And I know that this is what we need to do. So, I'm a man looking for fellow patriots as well, all right? I'm a man looking for fellow patriots who want to help me turn this country around. Will you help me do that? Will you help me do that? Join me, because the stakes are way too high if we don't come together. Thank you very much.